everyone, it's FastenWick. Today I'm going to be doing my best to rewrite the horror known best by the name Sonic 06. Oh gosh. For many reasons, this game is now infamous throughout the Sonic community. Besides the glitchy gameplay and some annoying elements in controls and side missions, the game story itself did not do well. Shadow and Silver's stories were really good, I think anyway. But Sonic's? The game is his namesake, and his story is the worst in the game. It's boring, repetitive, and seems to scramble to give Sonic and his friends something to do. Honestly, the game's story might have ended up better if the game was called Silver or Shadow the Hedgehog. I mean, probably not Silver, because this was his debut. All the fans would be like, what? Who's this Silver character? Why is he the main? What's his deal? Is this even a Sonic game? So it probably would have ended up as a Shadow game if they removed Sonic from the title. At any rate, that isn't what I'm doing, so that's not important. I know so many other people have done amazing Sonic 06 rewrites. I'll link a couple of my favorites in the pinned comment. And I did get a few ideas from these guys, so make sure to check them out. Like seriously, they are amazing. They need to be checked out. Turn those ideas into actual video games, people, please. Compared to theirs, mine will probably sound like a terrible fan fiction. But whatever, I'll give it my best. And the reason I'm doing this at all, when I love these ones so much, is because I'm trying to combine ideas and elements from these rewrites and put them together with some of my ideas. Sorry for any background noise. My family's in the background listening to music. Before I get started on the story itself, let me establish something. Princess Elise is now a cat. A lot of people turned her into a bird, and although I like that idea, I wanted to try something else. Some people have also removed her completely, also a very good idea, but I like a challenge, and I want to try to fix her as a character. I'm probably going to fail, but what the hey, it'll be fun. Also, this is an excuse for me to show off some of my art that I've drawn of these characters, so win-win. And I'm not good at writing games, so screw the gameplay. Sorry, gamers. I'm going to tell this tale like a movie or a book, just because I'm really bad at coming up with gameplay ideas. You guys could probably work in gameplay ideas, or levels, or boss fights. It could definitely be adapted. Each story with each character will be told in one story, so there won't be separate segments for each character with how I'm telling it. And I'm not the best writer. Since I'm no expert on things regarding Sonic, or anything for that matter, I'm gonna mess things up. And sometimes I'm purposely changing it to try new things. Oh, holy crap, this intro is too long. I am so sorry. Alright, let's get it started. We start with a black screen. A slow, dark tone of music fades in, as well as a scene of an apocalyptic hellscape that is Silver's world. Fire, smoke, maybe a few distant cries. A small piece of text tells us this is the future. Buildings are collapsing, a few scattered people, both humans and Mobians, are alive, but they all seem to be running for shelter. It's eerily still, despite the survivors in the background. We get a view of a tiny dog holding a charred doll. She is dirty, covered in ashes, and wearing torn clothing. She seems scared and lost as she walks down the broken streets and alleys, avoiding fire. She almost gets hit by a falling fiery beam from an overhead building. She moves away from the beam, glancing upward and all around, clutching her doll tightly. Hello? Is anyone there? I'm really bad at sounding like a little kid. Cut me some slack. Of course, no one answers. However, there is a slight rumble in the wind, enough to frighten the already spooked child. The girl runs away, squeezing her doll against her cheek, as if it could protect her. The rumbles start to get louder, very slowly, almost sounding like a growl. The little girl runs past the camera, headed away from the noise. A flash of silver and teal moves past the camera, moving in the same direction as the girl. The girl keeps on running, a few stray tears falling as she starts to panic. The growls continue to grow. Even though she's running away, they keep following her. In the distance, there's a little bit of purple and orange on a building, but the little girl is too scared to notice. She hugs her doll, letting her tears fall onto it. The girl turns a corner in the street, and everything goes quiet. eerily so. The girl pauses, staring down the seemingly empty street. In her mind, no noise must mean no monster. So she walks down the street. But then there is a sudden roar. The girl screams, and Iblis bursts out of the ground behind her, shaking the ground and setting fire to nearby structures and causing them to crumble further. The little girl is surrounded by fire and debris. Iblis towers above her, intent on killing, as he holds his fist above the girl, ready to crush her. The girl screams again, and the fiery beast begins to fall toward her. She hunches over, hugging her doll again and squeezing her eyes shut. She clenches her teeth, preparing herself for burning and crushing pain. But it doesn't come. There's another silver and teal flash. The girl opens her eyes and looks up. Iblis's fist is held still, surrounded by a teal aura. A light figure is raising its hands at Iblis, almost as if holding him back. You already know this is Silver, so I'm not going to beat around the bush with him. In this version of the story, Silver lives 20 years in the future. With how much damage Iblis was doing, I don't think it would make sense that these ancient buildings lasted for 200 years, so I'm shortening it to 20. And not everyone has this power of telekinesis. It's special to Silver. Just like fire powers are special to Blaze, and speed is special to Sonic. Others probably can and do have these powers, but our main characters are the best at using them. Anyway, back to the story. The little girl can't see Silver's face all that well, since she's practically underneath him, but he is having some difficulty holding Iblis's fist back. The girl starts to scoot back, away from Iblis and Silver, unsure of what's going on and scared to draw too much attention. Blaze runs up behind the little girl, and Silver calls out to Blaze right away. I apologize in advance for all of my horrible Sonic character impressions. Get her out of here! I'll hold him off! Blaze lifts the girl, cradling her gently but quickly. Come, little one. Iblis roars loudly, annoyed with Silver. A firewall surrounds all three of them, and the girl is scared again. Blaze seems unfazed by the wall of flames and runs forward, jumping before she hits the heat. She easily leaps over the fire, almost as if the flames parted for her. With the girl safely out of the way, Silver can put up a real fight. Keeping Iblis's fist still with one hand, he picks up debris with the other and sends it flying towards Iblis's face. Iblis backs up and smashes the ground with both hands out of frustration and anger. The impact causes a miniature earthquake, shaking the ground and sending a fire wave after it. Further away, Blaze is running. The girl tightens her grasp, but the earthquake catches up with her, taking her by surprise and causing her to fall. The girl and Blaze both roll across the ground and a huge wave of fire comes their way. Blaze leaps to her feet, holding up both hands to stop the powerful wave of heat. Run! She screams at the little girl. The girl quickly gets up, grabbing her toy and runs. With more debris following every second and fire going on all sides, there aren't many places to run. She ends up running almost in circles, dodging debris and flames. She is scared, tired, and almost out of hope when she turns left and spots Iblis. The girl gasps softly and freezes. Iblis is digging through debris, his back turned to the girl. He didn't see her. Silver and Blaze are nowhere in sight. The girl facing Iblis slowly takes a couple steps back. She's about to turn and run to safety when Iblis spots her. Fire goes up behind her and traps her. Iblis moves closer. He is intent on destroying everything, wild and dangerous, without a mind to guide him. He opens his mouth and it glows red. The girl backs up as far as she can without getting burned, almost dropping her toy in fear. A burst of red and blue flames soar towards the little girl. She's too scared to even scream at this point. Just as the fire is about to burn the girl, Silver drops in, a bit of teal lingering around his body. He quickly lifts the girl in his arms and glows teal again, flying away in the nick of time. He sticks low to the ground so as not to gain the attention of Iblis, holding the girl tight to him. Iblis soon seems to give up, angry and still wanting to kill. He melts into the ground, leaving a puddle of lava in the distance. Coast is clear. Come on, kid. Your mother is looking for you. He flies off rather quickly, Blaze keeping up by running and jumping. As they run past the fire, the flames grow large to block out the camera, and the fire fades to a black screen and the fiery text. Insert name here. Okay, I don't have a name for this thing. To be honest, I'm not the best at workshopping names. But if you have an idea for a name for this rewrite, post it in the comments. I'll use my favorite one in future updates. So anyway, the fiery text fades away to another scene of the city. This place has few more buildings standing. They're crude, but standing. There's also less fire here. Silver and Blaze drop the little girl off with her mother, and they are both extremely thankful to the duo. Blaze gives some advice to the mother and daughter regarding keeping safe from the flames and moving further from the city as Iblis travels. Silver tries to reassure them that they're going to win this battle eventually. Blaze kind of chuckles at his remark, but seems to find it endearing. No matter what, you always see the best in everything. Ever since we were little kids, you tried to see the good through the bad. Never change, Silver. Never change. Blaze doesn't have a hope for the future anymore, but finds happiness and almost a semblance of hope watching Silver believe. Almost like how a parent gets joy from a child excited about receiving a gift from Santa Claus. Silver and Blaze leave the mother and daughter as a growl echoes in the distance. Blaze seems rather depressed at the idea of fighting again. Silver is still hopeful, and they both rush towards the noise, ready for another fight. Silver wants to take it down for good, and as they're heading that way, we get a little bit of exposition, just to know what the characters know about the situation. Blaze seems to sense that Iblis is broken somehow, and Silver and Blaze both know his name is Iblis, and he's been unleashed for 20 years. At any rate, they come across another completely silent and empty alleyway. They both know it's not as it seems, hovering on the edge of the street, waiting for the monster to appear. After a few seconds of silence, Iblis bursts from the ground. Blaze and Silver take up a battle stance. To finish the conversation they were having on the way there, Silver says a final line. "All I know is I would do anything to fix this." Iblis is rushing towards Silver and Blaze, screaming in anger. Silver starts to glow teal again, carrying debris ready to be thrown. Fire glows on Blaze's paws and she's ready to fight. But suddenly, a purple flash rushes between them, headed right for Iblis. A dark figure, enveloped in a purple fog, sends a flash of purple and blue energy right at Iblis's head. Iblis screeches and almost instantly melts into a puddle of lava once again. As the purple fog fades, Silver and Blaze are left in shock. The debris Silver was lifting up crashes to the ground as he's left, jaw dropped. Blaze keeps her composure, but still looks impressed. Once the fog fades, it's easy to see who the dark figure is. Surprise, surprise, it's Mephiles! You guys know who it is because Mephiles has already been introduced in the Sonic world, but since this would be the first time the hypothetical fans would be seeing this hypothetical game, then they probably would think it was Shadow at first, but then get a good look at him and realize that's not Shadow. Mephiles' back is still turned to Blaze and Silver. Silver is the first to speak. "Who are you? How did you do that?" Mephiles turns to face them, showing his face. "I am Mephiles, and that was just a little skill I've mastered over my lifetime." "Whatever it is, it'll certainly come in handy in defeating Iblis for good. Come on, maybe we can find him, and you can do it again." "You won't be seeing him again for a while. He's not ready for a fight and will remain hidden until he feels like revealing himself." "In that case, we should plan for his return. With your help, we can undoubtedly fix this mess and save many lives." "Silver, don't get your hopes up." "I believe he already has." Blaze sets a steadying hand on Silver, turning to speak to Mephiles. "What do you know of Iblis? How did you learn this skill of yours?" "Knowledge. I've studied this apocalyptic world. I know it inside and out. I know the paths Iblis prefers to take, and I know how to strike him where it hurts. Could you share more of this knowledge with us?" Mephiles cocks his head, a mischievous glint in his eyes. "Maybe, but I doubt it would do much good." "Why would you think that?" "With Iblis unleashed like this, there is no way to permanently defeat him." Silver visibly saddens. "I knew it." "But that doesn't mean all hope is lost." Silver perks up. "Really?" "I overheard you two talking." "Silver, was it?" Mephiles steps closer to Silver. Silver is hovering between excitement and fear. Blaze seems a little confused and worried at the same time. "Did you really mean it when you said you would do anything to fix this?" Silver pauses for a moment, then nods. "Even kill?" Silver and Blaze both seem a little shocked. Silver rubs the back of his neck and speaks slowly. I mean, if it saves more lives than just one, I mean, yeah, I guess I would." Mephiles seems pleased. "Perfect." Blaze is tense, but stays calm. "What do you have in mind?" "What is required to fix these times is to prevent the disaster that started everything." "How can we do that?" "By traveling back in time and killing the cause of the pain before he can harm anyone else." "Is that possible? To travel through time?" "It is. And I know how to do it." Silver seems a little confused, but he clearly wants to give it a shot. Blaze leans close to her friend. "Silver, what are you getting yourself into?" "I'm not sure, but it may be just what we need." Mephiles seems to sense the two don't really agree on what to do yet, and takes a step back, plastering on a fake, kind smile. Well, minus the mouth. "How about you two talk it over? I've set up shop in a storage room in that building." He points to a partially collapsed building. "I'll meet you there when you're ready to give me your answer." Blaze nods and takes Silver's hand. The two walk off, headed down the road. Silver gives a small wave to Mephiles, some excitement lingering on his face. His hopes and dreams just might be coming true. Mephiles watches as they leave, smirking to himself once their backs are turned. Iblis's head pokes out of the lava. He growls and almost tries to get up from the puddle. Mephiles sets a stern hand on Iblis, holding him back. Not yet. We must wait, my pet. We must wait. So that's going to wrap it up for the story in this video. Before I go away, I'm going to explain a little bit about what I'm doing with Mephiles here. First off, I'm giving Blaze and Silver a fairly good reason to trust him. In part 2, they'll be giving a minor second reason. But in this, Mephiles seemingly defeated Iblis and possibly saved their lives. At least saved them from a long and dangerous fight. He gave great proof that he was on their side right off the bat, and even though Blaze doesn't trust him, Silver is already practically sold. And I think it's clear that Mephiles didn't actually hurt Iblis. It was all an act. During the 20-year period, he managed to get his hand on a Chaos Emerald. And using a single emerald, he can regain small amounts of his old Solaris power. He can use the emerald to communicate with Iblis a little bit, which is how he convinced Iblis to play along in the act for Silver and Blaze. And since this Solaris is able to control time and space, Mephiles can use the emerald to time travel once or twice if he's careful. Iblis can time travel all he wants, he's just too stupid to realize it, without a mind and all. Another reason I switched this to 20 years instead of 200 is because during the 200-year period, you would think Mephiles would have grown more threatening than he did. He would have learned so much more about the characters he hated, and possibly even learned how to connect with Iblis without going back in time. He is the mind of Solaris, he should be pretty smart. Even if he started off not knowing much when he got separated, he should learn fast. But 200 years? Really? If you had to implement time travel to get to Iblis, Silver and Blaze were your first options. No one else was naive in a 200-year period. No one else was willing to go. Mephiles also had no idea how to properly fuse with Iblis before, which is why when Iblis was released initially, when Elise was killed, Mephiles was still separated. He didn't even know where Iblis was at this point, and by the time he found his other half, it was too late to properly fuse. So Mephiles spent 20 years learning. He actually has a little notebook full of facts that he's learned about the people that caused him so much trouble. He planned to eventually go back in time and use the notebook to manipulate his enemies. And since he's discovered that the Chaos Emerald can give him a bit of his old strength back temporarily, he figures he needs all the Chaos Emeralds to fuse properly. He's not sure, he can't test this theory, same with the theory of getting Iblis out of Elise. His thinking is that putting Elise in some kind of extreme emotional turmoil will give Iblis a chance to escape, since Iblis seems to thrive on terror in the future. Alright, so that's part 1. I'll probably do part 2 next week, or maybe a couple weeks from now, depending on how many people like this. But I don't have much traction on this channel yet, so it probably won't get much traction anyway. We'll see. Take care, guys. I will see ya in the comments.